Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Ask A, where you, the audience, get to ask questions of someone you may not be able to interact with on a day-to-day basis. It's a place to grow, learn, understand, and educate. For everyone, that's the glue. I'm one of your hosts, Big Irish J. Hollingsworth.
And I'm Kev on stage, and this is Ask a Flat Earther with Daryl Marble. Clap it up for him, studio audience. D Marb, as he's affectionately known. So a little point of clarity here. Daryl is a friend of mine from Washington. We went to the same church for, it's almost 10 years probably.
Close.
Somewhere eight to 10 years. So if you're expecting Jay or I to argue with Daryl, you're on the wrong show.
Right.
This is Ask a Place for Understanding. So on this show, whether we agree with a person's views or not, I do think the earth is round. We're not here to berate our guests. We're here to understand their point of view on life. And also, Daryl's my friend for real. He used to play bass in the church, man. Actually, you took my place. I stopped playing bass because my kids kept unplugging the amp, and you took up the bass mantle.
I thought I just took over after Brother Woods stepped away, but okay.
It was a better story the way I was setting it up. So,
By the way, I noticed his shirt afterwards, which I was dying at. Did you see it?
yeah, I saw a Globe Believer Logic Crazy Normal. So let's hop into this.
Yes.
So the way this works, me and Jay ask questions we find interesting, and then we also incorporate questions that the audience finds interesting. My first question is, when did you start believing this? Because I don't remember you saying anything about this after church. Like, hey, Kev, man, that was a great word. Let me tell you what's fake. The earth, it is not real.
Right.
So when did, what's the first thing that you were like, I don't even really know about this?
Well, I mean, it kind of happened on accident. It was back in 2015, that summer, I believe. I was with a ex-girlfriend. We were watching a lot of stuff on YouTube.
I knew you went down a YouTube conspiracy theory hole,
Well,
and you never came back.
Well,
That's what my guess was.
It happens.
Because there's some crazy stuff on YouTube conspiracies that you'll be like, hold on, what? I'm white.
That's what I was saying.
when did that happen? So the thing is, it's like I looked into 9/11. Like when I first got out the army, like 2008.
Okay.
So I mean, from there I had just been intrigued to look into other stuff because I was like, after that it was like Freemason.
What was it? 9/11 was an inside job? Is that what you were looking into? Okay.
Yeah, because I had actually did a year in Iraq after.
Thank you for
And
your
you were
service.
like, yeah.
You know?
Also, thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
So you were like, hold on, I hope y'all ain't just set me up and find out this was
Right.
Okay, so that's the first thing you were
Loose
looking
change?
into.
Yeah.
Was it the loose change,
It
doc?
was Fahrenheit 9/11.
Oh,
yeah.
Michael Moore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I watched that, and then after that, I was hooked. So I'm looking at other stuff. I'm like, okay, so wait a minute, these guys are conspiring behind the scenes, making moves on the world stage and all that. And I just hopped on YouTube a while later and started looking at some other things on 9/11, Illuminati, Bilderbergers, like all this.
Bilderbergers.
We'll talk about. We could get into that.
You know about this?
The Bilderberg group. It's like this.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a restaurant. I was like, hold on, let me find out there's a new burger place
Is
that I haven't tried.
There's a
I know
joint around here.
Bilderbergs.
Bilderberg group.
Oh, Bilderberg.
Bilderberg.
Nothing to do with food.
No.
Okay, just for
Absolutely
clarity.
not.
Did you hear Bilderbergers?
I did say Bilderbergers.
Okay. I'm like, if I am fantasizing about food and people aren't even saying it, I really have a problem. Because you didn't look like you heard burgers. You didn't look like he said burgers.
Right.
Josh didn't say
You're like,
that.
so this flat bread earth, what?
Right.
Okay.
It's almost lunchtime.
Okay.
Almost. So I'm saying I looked into all that stuff, and then I just kind of left it alone for a while. So we were on YouTube. We got burned out looking at conspiracy videos.
Right.
So we went over to Netflix, and we watched this show called Under the Dome.
Okay.
You seen that one or not?
I think I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen it, though.
Okay, so I mean, it was like this small town. They ended up getting covered by this invisible dome. It was like some alien technology. The people started losing their minds.
Well, this is a movie?
It was based on a Stephen King novel.
Okay, got it.
So that was it was a show on ABC, I believe, and that was on Netflix. We watched all 3 seasons of that. So we're like, all right, now what? So then we go back to YouTube and type in Under the Dome, and the first video that pops up, the thumbnail is like this earth. It's flat. It's got this dome over
Like
it.
your shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked something like this, except there was like water leaking off of it. It looked like it was out in space. I was like, what's this? Click. But the name of it was Under the Dome. We were thinking we're looking for like extras from from the show.
Got it.
Bloopers or whatever. And like within the first 35 seconds or so. You know, the guy says flat Earth. We pause it and look at each other like, did he say flat Earth?
I can just imagine like, hold on now, what?
Like what's flat Earth?
Right.
So anyway, we'll pause it, and this guy's he's talking about NASA and how they can fake the moon landing, things like that. And then by the end of it, he's talking, going over all kinds of stuff. Like, there's like might be extra land. There was this guy who went out exploring called Admiral Byrd. How flights from the southern hemisphere back to the north don't really match up. It's like they'll lose radar over the water and all that. He was very detailed and did these quick 5-minute videos. It was called Flat Earth Clues, but this video was a compilation of all that.
Okay.
So we ended up watching this 2-hour video like the whole weekend.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. So
were you like pausing, researching?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like we'll pause it and then we'll talk to each other for a little bit. And since we had already come to the conclusion that the government was probably lying about all this other stuff, we're like, yeah, they're probably lying about that too.
Okay, so I want to stop you here, and then I want to hear the rest. I noticed in a lot of your, I went down your wormhole,
cool.
Flat Earth stuff, and I noticed a lot of it is like it starts with the government, and that was probably our #1 question. Why would the government lie about the Earth? Like, what does the Earth?
What's the advantage of?
What does what does the government have to gain about the Earth being flat or round? Like.
Well, here, let's look at the word government in itself.
Right, we're getting deep into this.
If
you say the government is Latin for something, my head's going to explode.
Well,
there's 6 syllables.
Not
there's
so
6. No.
Well, here's the thing. It's divided into 2 words. There's govern, that means to control, and then mental, mind. It's control of the mind. Government is mind control.
I love, by the way, and I don't know if it's disrespectful to say this is a any of this is a conspiracy theory, but I love conspiracy theories. Like, I love, even if I don't believe them, but I'm like, you hear something, and if it's like something where you be like, I can see why they come up with it,
Right.
Dude, I love stuff like this. So.
Yeah. So that's what government's for, to control the minds of the people. And why they would lie about the shape of the Earth, it's like, we can talk about government on like a surface level, and then we can talk later about the powers behind the government. Because
so you believe Illuminati's real?
I'm pretty sure,
or something like that.
There's something going on. If you
like the skulls or something like that.
Well, yeah. If you like just look at the surface level stuff, it's not hard to tell where society's going right now, because they're pushing the agenda to effeminize men. They're making women more masculine.
You think the government's doing this?
I think it's people behind the politicians that have control of them that are kind of either controlling them by blackmail, by paying them off, or I don't know, some sort of coercion.
Okay.
In order to push policies that they want them to push forward.
So what would you like? What? I know you're not in the secret society or whatever, but
do you know?
I don't. I can't say for sure. Yeah. But what would you think we'll call them dark forces? What would you think the dark forces would have to gain from the effeminization of men or any of the things you said? Like, what would be the ulterior motive that they want?
Well, the idea, just for the example of feminizing men, it's like, if you have a society where there are all weak men, like, who's going to revolt?
Women?
This ain't Wakanda, man.
So you don't think women will revolt?
No, women might, but generally we would expect the alpha males to step up and take charge, and okay, look, the government's oppressing us. We got this going on. We got that going on. We don't agree with it. So the real men are going to stand up and actually do something.
I get it. So the dark forces would want to make men weak, therefore suppressing the chance of a revolt.
And they can govern their mentality.
Got it. Okay. Back to
back up. I'm with you.
He's all in.
What if I just, I'm like, it is flat. I knew it, man. Say, man.
But by the end, we'll see. We'll see.
So let's go back to you're watching a YouTube video with your ex-girlfriend.
Okay. So, we finished with that one. And like I said, by the end of the weekend, we're like, yeah, it's probably flat. You know, because
I got to see this.
dude,
That one video,
Yeah.
the 2-hour video, the one video changed your mind?
yeah, pretty much, because we had already come to the conclusion that the government lied about so much other stuff. I mean, if you look at the Federal Reserve, you look at the fiat currency system and all this.
What's it?
You don't know about the fiat currency? You go
Oh,
ahead. You
man.
can handle it.
This is-
Yeah, I don't
are
wanna
we
get
talking about the
into-
Italian car?
No, not
That's
not
literally
that.
the only frame of reference I have.
Not that.
I figured it wasn't that, but I had to say something.
I thought it was something you had to pay. It's a fee you ought to pay.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, the whole banking system is based on it. Well, the dollar is actually supposed to be backed by gold.
Yeah,
And
haven't
they're-
been backed by that in a long time.
Yeah. So
It's just money's only valuable because we say it is.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the official construct, and that's how they are controlling our minds
With money.
with money. Yeah.
Okay. I want to pause real quick because probably more than you believing the earth is flat, the more interesting thing to me was you went off the grid. So I remember on Facebook, you were like, yo, I'm moving into a van. And I was like, hold on, you doing what? Because you, like, if y'all don't know, Daryl was a financial, like, you talk about saving money. This dude was like, ugh, okay, 23 cents. Like Daryl, like he saved his money for a long time. So it wasn't a financial issue. You made a choice to live off the grid. You bought like a van that you souped up with, like, you know, a pot. I'm not pot. A burner.
Yeah.
You know, you got all that stuff. So what made you decide to do that? Because it'd be cold.
It does. you are not lying,
It'd be
man.
cold at
Dude.
night. Early morning, I'll be like, woo.
It's rough times when it gets cold. I mean, when it's warm, it's all right. When it's
Yeah.
cold, a little bit rougher. The reason was, you know, like you said, just to save money. You know,
But you don't. Why do you need money? What is the money?
what is it? Money is it provides us with options.
Right.
Thing. So I just need some more options. So what I'm doing is basically trying to save money. So hopefully nobody from a job seeing it, so
Right.
I can walk away from the job and
Right.
eventually move back down south.
So you're currently living in the van?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But this is totally by choice.
Yeah.
So do you plan on ever going to live in like a house, or are you gonna live off the grid forever? You want to build a cabin in the woods or anything?
If I could, look, the dream would be to buy some land, build my own cabin, have it solar powered, grow my own food,
Your own commune,
all that
like
stuff,
this-
you know,
and just be like, I
just
don't
leave-
rock with y'all.
leave me alone.
no email,
Leave me alone.
no cell phone.
I can still have
Oh, you
that
got a
stuff.
YouTube channel, bro. You gotta
Yeah.
keep the subs up.
I know.
Don't trip.
True.
I said off the grid a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
kind of off the grid. I'll still be
right. I need the.
I'm in one of the grooves of the grid.
right.
edge. We'll call it the edge of the grid.
I'll be on the edge of the grid.
Edge, Jason Bourne.
Yeah.
I like that.
He's off a little bit. If his girl's in danger, he's like, all right, what's up?
Right.
Okay. Because I was like, Daryl, you are tripping, bro. It is cold and dark. And you were like, it's cool, bro. I'll be chilling.
I'm good. Most of the
All
time.
right, cool. So you believe this first video. So this one moment in your life changed. Like, did you do more research after that, and did everything just like further back up your claim?
Yeah. There's a lot of other content creators that put information out. I saw some experiments. Just as far as the information that these guys had already gathered, because people have been making noise about flat Earth for a while. There's this guy Eric Dubé put out this video, 200 proofs that the Earth is not a spinning ball, something like that. And just watching that time after time, he's got one thing after another proving that this isn't a globe.
Okay. Biggest thing people said when I said I had you on.
Okay.
NASA.
NASA.
We have pictures of the Earth from space.
Yes.
Moon landing, which some people, Steph Curry is one, but he's not the only one. A lot of people believe that the moon landing was faked. Fake. Right? Moon landing was fake. But the biggest thing we got, probably number 1 and 2 questions. 1, why does it matter? 2, you've seen pictures. We've all seen pictures of the Earth from space. How can you still believe that Earth is flat if you've seen pictures?
Well, because pictures can be falsified, just the same as, I have a picture of myself standing next to Michael Jordan somewhere.
Yeah.
Like on my hard drive somewhere. And
I have pictures of myself with abs.
Boom. And I've never met Michael Jordan
in
my life. So, there's this thing called Photoshop. We've all heard of it. And also, here's the thing. There's a video that came out. in 1972 when they were doing the Apollo missions. There was a movie that came out called A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon. Now, there's some footage from the Apollo missions where it showed the astronauts. They had the camera in the back of the cabin. They had dimmed all the lights, and there was a circular window out on the other side. So they pull the camera back, and they have the Earth in this window. Camera's way back here. They took a piece of cardboard and they put it like on the edge of it, demonstrating or kind of trying to depict the Earth's Terminator line, where it goes from light to darkness. That's what they were depicting with that cardboard right there, and they didn't know it was recording. And there's conversation going on with Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, and this other guy back at command, saying, "Okay, so what you want to do? You want to pull this back over here, move the cardboard down a little bit, adjust the camera, things like that." And that footage was leaked at some point. And what happened, it also went on. They were reporting that they were halfway to the moon, when in actuality they were only in like low Earth orbit, probably in a high altitude plane while they were doing this. But
so do you think this is a video showing that they're staging pictures of the Earth?
Yeah, basically.
From obviously not in space.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then once they actually took the picture, like the lights came on, and you could see that the camera was on the other side of the cabin, and you could see astronauts moving around and all that, and it was obviously that they faked that picture. So the one picture that we are told is actually a picture of Earth, it was faked.
Oh, is that the picture?
Yeah,
the first one from space?
Yeah.
Oh, you think so the very first picture from space is a fake?
Yeah, they faked that.
And therefore every picture.
No, every other picture is subsequently, and NASA even says on their website that it's a composite. Those are like artist renderings. What they do is they'll take strips of data and then they'll kind of piece them together.
Right. Because you can't see the whole. Is it because you can't see the whole Earth from any place in space?
Here's the thing. It doesn't make sense that you wouldn't be able to see pictures of the Earth from space, because they give us these pictures, these high def, ultra, clear resolution pictures of other planets. Right? We got.
Why do you do that for other planets?
Because I'm saying, because they're not real. But we'll get into that.
You think there's no planet?
We'll get into that one.
The Matrix.
We're going to get to that.
Hold on. So
I'm telling you,
you
man,
think the whole solar system is a farce?
We're going to get to that one.
All right. Well, I'll
Can you open this? I've been I know it's on camera. There's been 4 times I've tried to open this.
Are you not strong? Leave it to a black man.
Go ahead.
I'm getting it.
Dude, I just have to open it though, because there's been 4 times I've done it, and then I look at the camera like people be like, "Oh,
effemination of when?
When?
Thank God. Feminization. That's a hard word anyway.
I'm saying.
Weak men. Dark forces.
So
okay.
All right. So the thing is, they take those strips of data and then they'll put them around a globe. That's how they do the Google Earth. Actually, Google Earth, that's high altitude planes taking pictures and all that. And then there's even these trucks that drive around with cameras.
I've seen those.
So
where it's like the 360-degree camera, driving around LA.
Street view.
Yeah. I've seen those.
So they got those, and they'll just feed that data in there, and they can take that data and wrap it around a ball, basically. And then the pictures, if you look up pictures of Earth from space, put it in Google and then hit images, and what you're going to see is a lot of pictures of the Earth, and none of those pictures are going to look the same. The water's going to be different colors, the continents are going to be different colors, the continents will be different sizes. And if you go to NASA, there's one picture, it's the blue marble is what it's called. It's the default picture on your iPhone. Right?
Yeah.
It's that one.
Yes.
That was made by this guy named Rob Simmons that works for NASA. And there was an interview that he did where he's explaining how he created that picture about the strips of data. And he's talking about how, we had to take the clouds out and we had to adjust the tint here, and then we had to put in this light spot called the specular highlight. And then, I put it together like that. And there's one point where he says, it is photoshopped, but it has to be. Now you got to ask the question:
why does it have?
Why does it have to be?
Josh here, our head of production, he edits photos and you contrast and he changes light and stuff like that. Are you basically saying somebody did through a filter on like an Instagram filter is the Earth is just in Rise or Valencia, and that's all we've been believing is
pictures because these agencies that have, you know, we have put our trust into these folks.
Yeah.
They tell us that it's real. They present it as real, and we don't even ask the question.
Here's the thing I want to stop you.
So busy.
I don't want to mean to interrupt you, but here's one thing that I think was weird. Remember when we were kids and they told us milk's good, milk does a body good,
Yes,
good for you, good for your bones and calcium, and you're like, okay, milk is good.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that like dairy farmers pay for that, and milk actually wasn't like none of the stuff that we believed was true. We're like, hold on, milk does. So I was a kid, like I want to have strong bones. I need to drink milk.
I was too.
So that was like a. But see, I see why the dairy farmers would do that, because if I get you to believe milk is good, you buy more milk, therefore I can sell you something.
The food pyramid, same thing.
Oh, yeah.
The original food pyramid didn't have a lot of grain and bread and stuff like that, but then the government wanted to get the agriculture up, so they were like, "Oh no, bread's like one of the most important."
Gotta have it. Gotta have it.
Dude, it's crazy.
Oh yeah. So I see that though, because there's money. But I thought you were gonna say it's money to be made.
Oh, there's money to be made.
Tell us how the flat Earth, where the money is to be made in us being sheep.
Well,
do you call us sheep if we believe the Earth is round? When you're amongst friends,
globies.
Globies?
I say globies. Or actually, I try to be nicer about it. I call you all heliocentric enthusiasts.
I feel like you just cussed at me. You remember the 40-year version?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying, so I'm gonna take it as disrespect. First of all, watch your mouth. So I really don't know what you just said though.
Well,
Helio what?
Well, what the thing is like the whole globe model is based on everything rotating around the sun, because they tell us that the Earth revolves around the sun. All
Wait, is the sun real?
And the sun, the sun's real.
Oh, now you believe one thing is real.
But the sun isn't as we've been told. It's not the size or the distance that we've been told. We can get into that later.
I want to get into all of it.
Yeah.
If we leave nothing else, I want you to leave here and have me understand what you think.
Okay.
Whether I believe it or not, I want to understand what you think, because it is interesting to have somebody who like has a different point of view than something that you know. The thing that's funny about it, Marv, is I feel like it's not even like a thing I question.
Yeah.
Somebody told me this when I was a kid. I drew it, and then I'm just like, all right. You know what I mean? Like, I go on about my day. It's not even something I think about. And you were like, nah, fam. They lying about this.
No, I was believing it too. Up until I actually thought about it. That's the thing. A lot of people are just going about their own lives, not even questioning this stuff, because I mean we're kept so busy. We got our social obligations, we got our jobs, family, personal relationships, and all that. We don't have. I mean, there's a sport that overlaps every time of the year. There's football, and then halfway through football season, there's basketball season starts up. After basketball, then you got
hockey jumps towards the end of basketball, and then baseball, and then
it's ingrained in you from a kid. Like when grade school, Earth is round, and then as you start learning other stuff in the future of schooling, that part is already assumed.
Yep.
So I want to go back to the reason I just want clarity on this is because it was what our audience asked the most.
Okay.
What do we have to gain? Now, you said the government has mind control, and then you kind of mentioned that there's money to be made. Do you feel like there's money to be made in having people believe the Earth is round, or do you feel like having people not think about stuff like that? Like, what's the transactional value of this? Oh, you scared me.
No, the iPad is going to be okay. all right. So
the flat Earth is going in on itself.
Oh no, it's collapsing on itself.
Somebody's folding it.
No, right. The thing is like if the Earth is a globe, then that means that we're on this finite space. All right, we're on this globe. Everything's been discovered already, so just stay put. Don't go exploring anything.
Truman Show.
Basically.
Love that movie.
There you go. We refer to the Truman Show a lot. Actually.
Okay, I'm with you.
Like the whole scenario, and that was
so that YouTube video was. Remember when the satellite fell?
Yes,
that's what the YouTube video was for you. The first sign that something is off.
The video that I saw, the one under the dome, that compilation, he talked about the Truman Show.
Because they were in a dome in that movie.
Basically, yeah.
Oh snap! I didn't even think about that.
Same concept. Only if you scale it up, you won't have to maintain as much control. There won't have to be as many actors playing a role, and you have to think about if you scale the dome up like, I don't know, hundreds of miles, thousands of miles. 10,000 miles or so in circumference. Are you really going to need as many actors to continue perpetuating the life? No. You'll need one generation to go by, not really trusting it, and then like 2 or 3 generations later, you know, that generation's died off, and you just move on, and everybody just assumes that it's a globe.
So back in the day, I don't remember how far, but people used to believe the Earth was flat.
Yeah.
Right? Was it Leonardo da Vinci?
It was
or DiCaprio?
It was Copernicus.
Captain DiCaprio. People used to believe the Earth was flat. And then somebody said, nah, fam.
Yeah.
I've sailed further and it just never ends.
Well, yeah.
So when do you guys talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was Copernicus came up with this model, basically where, you know, everything rotates around the sun. That's like giving rise to the modern heliocentric model.
What are you saying?
Heliocentric.
What they call the sun is a sun god called Helios.
Okay.
So it's like they look at the sun like a god. It's actually the
heliocentric, meaning the centered around the
heliocentered. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, that's the heliocentric model. So that's what they came up with, because basically at the end of the, you know, like behind the scenes, the people who came up with this whole globe idea, they're sun worshipers. It's part of a sun worship.
Oh, so do you believe okay, let's go back to the Truman Show analogy.
Okay.
I can't remember his name, but the guy who did it, what was it? I can't think of, you know what I'm talking about.
There was Jim Carrey in there.
No, not Jim Carrey. The guy who created the world with the beret.
Christoph.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So Christoph's behind it and it's his world.
Yeah.
And so are you saying the sun worshipers have kind of like always been in power, being the Christophs of the Earth? You don't understand what I'm saying?
I'm saying that what they did, they kind of subverted truth. They kind of hijacked the original model. What we understand to be reality is, or what we understand is, like, they looked at reality and said, okay, this is, let me see, the sun goes down, it takes this many years for it to go this way, or it takes this many days for it to come back to this point, this angle in the sky. Oh, and then they'll like reverse engineer what they see in reality, give it some complex equations and all that.
Yeah.
And then say, okay, we have an idea. The Earth is actually orbiting around the sun.
Okay.
When in actuality, the sun is making a circuit clockwise over the Earth.
So do you believe the Earth is just, okay, so we're throwing everything we learn about solar systems out.
And that's what a lot of people don't want to do, because it's a very vulnerable position.
Yeah.
To throw away everything you thought you knew.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to go there.
And people just rather be like, I'll accept,
never mind,
true or not.
Yeah.
I got to go to work.
Right. Exactly.
I don't want to have to think about it.
Right.
So, but I want to understand, do you believe the Earth is just planted somewhere in the galaxy?
No, it's flat and stationary. Now, you being a man of God, you know, you follow the Bible.
Yeah.
Has anybody told you that the Bible is a flat Earth book?
No, I would say you were the first.
It is.
What in the Bible says
Well,
it?
think about here, Genesis 1. I mean,
it's the beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning,
right?
God created the heavens and the earth. So it talks about how the Spirit of God.
So God is a flat earther.
God created the flat Earth.
Okay.
And that's the reason why they would lie, because the sun worshipers, they're actually, they're Satanists. They're Satanists, man. I'm telling you.
Okay, not us.
No, not us, not the Globies, but
the people who
ones who are
perpetuating the idea that the Earth is round.
Yes.
I mean, the Earth is round.
Yes, because the globe model comes from the the Big Bang.
Okay, yeah, heard that.
The whole Big Bang cosmology is like a godless Big Bang happened billions of years ago, when this tiny spot of matter exploded into everything in the perfect order that we see it today. The Earth cooled down and, started to create its own gravity, and the moon broke off at some point, and now we're all orbiting around the sun, and little one-celled organisms crawled out of the primordial ooze, and it turned into a lizard, then it turned into monkeys, and now we're here.
Right.
And
skipped a couple steps.
Yeah, basically.
But you get it.
But you know what I mean.
to us.
Right. So that's basically what they're teaching is, from that there's no room for God.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That. Yep.
And who would come up with an idea that removes God from creation?
Right.
That would be people
People
who follow the bad guy.
Got it.
Right? So that's ultimately what it is. And I used to think about this when I was young too. You know, if we're on Earth and there's all these other millions of planets and galaxies out there, there's other worlds. Is there like another space Jesus or something for each one of these planets?
Yeah.
Besides, where the heck is God in this whole thing? Like the edge of the universe? Is there an edge to the universe? It's so far out there. You will wonder why God would create Earth and then be so far away. Basically, and that's what the globe model does to people. It's about control mentally, physically, by keeping us so busy with these jobs that we don't have time to think about this stuff, and then spiritually, because it takes us away from the concept that this place was actually created.
Got it.
Go ahead. So
I've been hogging this.
No, it's all right, dude. But this is all interesting to me. So, I'm trying to understand. So, is it a universal opinion of flat earthers that, like, it's a flat, like, saucer shape or square shape, or?
Well, we have different. I'll say camps.
I was thinking that there has to be dissension. Within the flat Earth group, are there different like groups within that who believe?
Yeah.
Because I was looking through your comments, I can't think of the word, but they were saying this guy is a
shill.
Yeah, there's like terminology I didn't understand.
Well, shill's like a dum-dum.
Yeah,
there's one that started with a C, a cop or an op or something.
A cop
or a plant. I can't remember. I don't
know which one it was, but no, we don't all see it the same way. Some people think that the Earth is like more like this, like a
snow globe,
circular dish, like a snow globe, with a dome over it. Other people think it's an infinite plane. Ever expanding. Just like there's our Earth pond, and then once we get to the edge, get up on the little ice shelf, go over to it. There could be another pond over here.
I've heard this. My boy at work was toying with the idea of the ice shelf, and that's the first thing I asked him. Like, bro, if the Earth is flat, then where's the edge? And he was saying there's he was new to it. He probably had just watched the YouTube video, but he was saying the end is like there's like tall ice barriers or walls, so to speak, and they're like guarded. Yeah. Or he was saying they were guarded by
the Antarctic Treaty.
The who now?
The Antarctic Treaty.
Okay, yes. So he said that, but he was new in it. So okay, I'm gonna be honest with you, Daryl, because we're friends. All right. He was so new he didn't have no answers, so we just made fun of him until he stopped talking about it.
That's why we
gotta know your stuff.
That's what we always have to deal with. Yeah. It's like we'll get into it, and then we want to talk to people, but then we're like, people are gonna ask questions, so I'm not gonna say anything for a while. Okay. So we'll just kind of keep it to ourselves and like study and just do more research, maybe our own experiments and all that, and then come out and say, okay, guess what? The Earth is flat.
Okay.
Who wants some?
Yeah. See, that's
why
why
I want to get back to Jay's question.
Well, yeah, and that's why is because before you can, not that this show is for debating, but before you can even like question something, you have to try and learn it and understand what that person's point of view is.
Right.
Which is the point of this show.
Yeah, exactly. I can't just be like, like, oh, that's dumb, and then when I am not even taking in what you're saying. So
I did that though. I ain't gonna lie, Daryl.
It's okay.
I totally would. And he's younger than me. I was like, bro, shut up. That's dumb. You dumb.
I would never do
pointed
that.
at him and laughed.
That's messed up.
I'm sorry. I don't want to lie to you, Daryl.
Them's my people, Kevin.
He is, and he totally was just quiet about it. You know what I'm talking about? DZ. DZ was all in, and I was like, bro, that because he didn't have that answer, we were able to like shut him down. Because we.
That's what you've been programmed to do, though.
You're like an eartheist.
But again, that's what you've been controlled to.
Right.
You've been. It's a program
here's
response.
My thing.
Wait, I want my question.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm so excited.
I know.
So are you saying
like he's my friend?
Because he is my friend. I know. I went to his house. I know. Yeah. So are you saying because I'm programmed? I don't even want to process information. Yeah. I'd rather just say you're dumb, so I don't have to then question it myself. Is that what you think people we do?
That's what a lot of people do.
Okay,
actually, and what I'm saying is like we were given these program responses when we hear somebody say flat Earth. You would fall off the edge.
Yeah,
where's the edge? Oh, stop! The Earth is round. Haven't you seen the pictures? What about we've been to the moon? Things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we get.
So you don't believe none of that? The moon landing?
No.
Do you believe you believe the moon though?
The moon is a thing. Yeah, it's not a solid object that you can go land on though.
Do you believe
think it is?
I'm leaning more towards the moon being, and this isn't everybody. This is just me. I'm thinking the moon's like being projected from another source externally. Actually,
Also, it's just like the bat signal, so to speak.
something like that.
Okay.
Because there's points where you can see the moon during the day.
Yeah.
And you can see the moon at night. Now at night you can see like the darkness like on the inner areas of the moon, but then during the day if you see like a full moon, it's like blue. Where it will be black at night.
And there's like a blood moon a couple of days ago.
Yeah, like what's that about?
They were changing the bulb.
Something like that. I'm not sure what these eclipses are exactly, but it's not a result of the Earth being in direct line of sight between the sun. That's not happening because there's a type of eclipse called a selenelian, and what it is like it's like the blood moon, like the one from last year. That was the one in January. The blood moon from there. But there was a point where a friend of mine had a video where you could see the sun coming up on the horizon. So the Earth was not directly between the sun and the moon, causing that eclipse. Also, you got to ask yourself the question: when there's a light source here, there's you right there. Why isn't your shadow red? Like, when does that happen?
Wait, what?
I'm saying
I was gonna act like I followed you, but I didn't at all.
Why was it?
Because the
red
shadows
moon?
are all black, right? Because don't shadows aren't they always black?
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying because the light. Oh, like a gel, like you know, you put gels over like film lights and they cast this shadow.
Yeah. I'm saying it. Well, what it is, and there's been people who have actually caught these things on camera. There's these other non-luminescent freaking.
Well, you got 3-4 syllable words on deck, and that's like 3 today that I have not heard often.
These translucent sources up here, these other bodies that are also up there with the sun and the moon interacting. You just can't really see them with the naked eye. You can catch them with a camera. Some people have. Right. And they'll like that. They're what caused the eclipse of the sun and the moon. These other bodies in the sky.
Okay.
I was gonna say, do you believe Kev will let me get this question answered?
Sorry, I have been terrible.
I know. No, it's not.
I've been so excited. I'm jumping all over.
No, but this is so interesting to me. So going back to which camp do you fall in as far as like your belief of the flat Earth?
I'm leaning more towards enclosed system like this with the dome.
So for those listening that are only listening, he has a shirt on that it has like looks like a snow globe where the Earth would be flat and then it has a glass. Globe encasement, a half circle,
like the New Orleans, the Superdome.
Yeah,
and the Earth is basically the field.
Basically,
is that kind of the way to understand it?
Something like
and
that.
So with that, okay, if we're going, that's your belief on that. So I'm trying to say this so it doesn't sound like I'm asking something disrespectful because that's not my intention.
Sure.
So we only interact with one side.
Yeah.
We in America, you mean?
The world, or the flat Earth.
Yeah, basically.
What do you mean one side?
Because if you're looking at the snow globe type thing, we're all on this side, so we don't go on the bottom.
The bottom half. Got it.
And okay, and then my next question would be which is I'm just trying to put it all together. You know?
Yes.
So like what we've been taught is like, as an example, like flight. You know the Earth is round, we have gravity, and the plane goes around it.
Yes.
So what is to stop somebody from flying and then
straight
crashing,
up?
or going to the edge and crashing?
Well, flights don't like go out that way commercially. They have to get permission before they can even, raise the wheels to, hit the air.
Right.
When you say get permission from
air traffic control?
Air traffic control.
Okay, then going back further, before we had air traffic control, like somebody either sailing or flying. If we've had the flat Earth dome forever, before you had communication like that, what would stop somebody from doing that?
Oh well,
their engines was weak.
What's up?
The Wright brothers' engines was weak. They couldn't.
Or a ship sailing to the edge. And
okay, yeah.
Well, there was that. There was actually a voyage called voyage done by a man named Captain James Cook.
Okay.
And what he did, he actually took off and he kind of circumnavigated the Earth and kept the what is referred to as the ice wall, which is actually the furthermost edge of Antarctica, because Antarctica on the flat Earth is situated as like a 360-degree ice wall. Okay. Everybody doesn't believe that. And, people say, well, have you seen it? Have you been there? Has anybody gotten a video of you like circumnavigating the entirety of the ice wall? That would take years to actually get that.
Hold on. I'm trying to understand.
Oh,
so
I got to pull the picture back up.
Okay, Antarctica is on basically. Oh no, okay. So Antarctica is basically like
The outer edge.
So like a pancake.
Yeah.
Antarctica is the white part,
The crust. Yeah.
the crust.
Yeah, like
Okay.
that.
Okay, let's show the camera. Josh, can you put this up? We'll send this to Josh. Sure. Okay, so. Oh, so this white part is Antarctica.
Yes.
So Antarctica is the edge
Yes.
of the whole flat Earth.
Yes.
So we're surrounded by
An ice wall.
ice wall. So what's on the other side of the ice wall? Is that the infinite space?
Well, it could be. It could
Okay.
be, and that's the thing. It's like we don't know, and we're not authorized to just go explore out there due to the Antarctic Treaty. Also,
What is this Antarctic Treaty?
It's a treaty that was drawn up back in the 50s that 50 plus industrialized nations have signed since then, and everybody's respected that treaty. Is basically saying that you can't just get up and go to Antarctica.
Yeah.
You can't take your yacht and just go over there. There's a lot of other stipulations in there. Like if you do actually get a hold of, get through all the paperwork to go to Antarctica, you can go there, but you can only carry so much food. You can't, if you.
There's no plans to permanently go over there. You can visit at most.
Yeah. Basically, it's like they limit the amount of stuff that you can take with you, like water, food,
And who's they?
supplies.
The-
The powers that shouldn't be.
So that's the same thing if you grew up in Brazil and you want to go there. Jay grew up in Ireland. I grew up in Africa. We all say I want to go to Antarctica. Our respective like countries' governments are like, nah, you got to do X, Y, and Z before you can go there.
Yeah,
because you cannot put in Antarctica on Expedia.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, flights don't just go there, and
It's always just like expedition. Like I can't think of the word, but expeditions.
Yeah.
Explorers are like, oh, this guy went to Antarctica for X amount of time, and or like people who are studying wildlife.
Yeah.
Are they the only ones that kind of get this access?
Yeah, there's military bases out there, but I mean, you have to have special clearance, go through these background checks and all that in order to get out there. But yeah, us general population, everyday citizens, we don't get to just go there. Also, I mean, it's going to cost a lot to get your boat, get your supplies, get your crew and all that, and actually get up onto the ice shelf, and then go trying to we're just going to continue straight line until we get to something on the other side.
So,
No,
okay, go ahead, Jay.
I was just going to say, you were a couple words back, sentences back.
Points.
Yeah, you were talking about, I think you said it would take like years for somebody to map out. Was it that you were saying the ice wall?
To actually like circumnavigate this whole thing, because
show it to the camera.
Yeah, because if you're gonna hop in your boat, you're gonna have to sail from here and just continue going around there. You're gonna have to come back to these continents to resupply,
right?
Because you can't just stay out at sea that entire time. You got to come back to pick up supplies, and then you got to go back out, and just continue, boom, 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 go back. It'll just take a long time.
Could a person, or and I'm sure there's flat earthers that got money.
Yeah.
So couldn't somebody that's got bank, like from the closest, or down here, the closest location to a border, I guess you'd say, we're gonna go straight until we run into it. Or not.
Like the end of, you remember Truman Show when Jim Carrey was like, man, forget it. Y'all gonna have to kill me. I'm going out.
Yeah.
So you believe that if you had, I guess, money or supplies, and you just like, okay, so we're in LA, right? If I just got, went to Santa Monica, had a boat, hypothetically, had enough supplies to just go until I went. Eventually I would hit the Antarctic ice edge, I guess.
Eventually you're gonna run into, some large ships. Well, there's going to be guys with guns who are like, where are you going?
Really? Has anybody done that? Or like, has anybody?
Yeah, there was actually this guy named Jarl Anderhoy.
Oh, see, this is what I love. Awesome. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Dude,
you have the
perfect person for this.
We referenced that one too?
Is that like that? Because remember, Joaquin Phoenix character was like, bro, I don't care. Like, if you guys haven't seen The Village, it's a movie about, spoiler alert. Basically, the main character doesn't believe, he believes the world's bigger than his little like village, so to speak. Yeah. And somebody gets sick or is dying, and he needs like something of antidote or whatever. And long story short, it's set in like colonial times, but it's actually happening today. And these people with money basically said, this is where our Earth ends. And really, it's like present day.
Yeah.
So is it basically, that's the idea that flat earthers believe?
Something like that.
But on a grander scale.
Yeah.
Okay.
And finish talking about this guy. So this guy, what was his name that went out there?
Jarl Andhoy.
Okay, and what?
And I mean, he had a ship, his own yacht called the Berserker, and he took his crew out there. He's been arrested multiple times trying to explore Antarctica. He's gotten like too close out there, and they'll just grab him, arrest him, take him back to the land, and he'll be in jail for a little bit.
So is this like I'm sorry for interrupting you. I just want to understand, this is like a group of people, they're protecting this on like any side. You know what I mean? Because if you go like, I don't know directions, but if you go from Brazil out, the same group of like the International Coast Guard, we'll call them. Yeah. They're all working together, like patrolling these waters, like, yo, you gone too far type thing.
That's the general consensus.
Okay, where would they get their supplies?
Look, I'm saying they got military bases at each one of these
that's
continents.
right. You said that. So they go and supply the other direction and come back out and keep people there. Now, one thing, go ahead, Jay, if you have more.
No, I was just gonna say you have the perfect guest to represent, because dude, it's so awesome that he has.
Yeah, see,
all this
Denzel didn't
info.
have no answers, so we were just like, and we pushed him on the ground. We smacked his lunch out of his hand.
And I hate, like, as I'm asking these questions again, I'm trying to ask them respectful, so I hope nothing else come
I don't
off.
think Daryl's gonna take offense.
No, well, like, it's like I don't want to, we don't want to be like, oh, I got you, but like, I'm just curious how certain things, I guess what flat earthers believe, like first person to fly around the globe is what is said, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas if it's a disc, then like how do they get to one part and then all of a sudden, like, does it transport them back to the other side, or
no? So you're asking about circumnavigation, basically. So I mean, if you I don't know, if you say like my finger is a boat or something, you can start here in Africa and you can just
you would go
just going around
like a record player.
Yeah, because
I see.
Here's the thing. So according,
that makes sense. Okay, gotcha.
According to this, it's called the azimuthal equidistant map.
Yeah, that's what I usually call it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't even know what words you are saying for real.
Kev keeps looking at me and I'm like, sure, I know it.
Someone needs a nap.
So the way it is, it's like the North Pole is situated at the center, and this is how compasses work. You know, you can leave the U.S. and you can head south in whatever direction is south away. It's just going to be pointing away from the North Pole. But if you just bear east, the needle is going to continue pointing north regardless of where you are. So you can go out.
So north is really just center.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and there are no South Pole facing compasses.
And there are also no South Pole clothing line because that was trash.
Facts.
I used to buy South Pole because they carried up to 5X. That makes sense to the record thing. Dude, I'm so thankful that you're the person that he got for this, because it's, you have all of the info, which is great. It's not, some guy that's just like, I heard Kyrie Irving say it, so I'm down. Right. Now, has anybody, is there guards, or has anybody tried to go straight down to get to the bottom of the snow globe, so to speak?
Oh, straight down,
like the Earth's crust.
Yeah, drill down.
Drilling, fracking for oil.
Okay, so the pictures that we were shown in school with showing the
molten center,
surface,
outer crust, inner
crust, and then the molten core.
Right.
That's all speculation at this point, because the deepest hole that's been dug was only like 7.5 miles. This was done in
I saw a YouTube video about this.
In the
we
90s.
thought we were far, and even by what we believe, we were like
nowhere.
Like nowhere.
Like 7.5 miles deep. It's the Kola Super Deep project, and this was done in Russia back in the 90s. And the deepest hole that's been dug was like 7.5 to 8 miles deep. So all that inner core stuff, that's just more.
Does anybody know
how far do you guys think the Earth goes down? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Good job. I beat you.
Now, if we head back to scripture, bottomless pit.
Hell.
Exactly.
That would make more sense for hell if hell's just,
wouldn't it,
down there?
Does a bottomless pit really make sense on a globe?
No. When I was a kid, I used to think, man, you should be able to dig to China.
You know what I'm saying?
And then I would go eat.
And then come out the other side, right?
Yeah, I used to think that.
That's what I'm saying.
The cartoons who did that.
Yeah.
It's programming.
Yeah.
One thing I saw in your
mentality.
I'm telling you,
I'm with you.
Man, we didn't land on
You
Plymouth Rock.
glober.
I'm globy. So one thing I saw on your page a lot your YouTube page because I was researching, and then I actually stopped because I wanted to hear from you. Bodies of water do not curve.
Oh, that's my thing.
I used that was like so prevalent in your thing. Yep. So explain that to people who like, why is that? Because I want to shift into like the proof of.
Yes.
So why is bodies of water do not curve such a big point for flat earthers?
And what does that mean?
Well, it means like, so we're taught like the Earth is a globe, then you'd be surrounded by water.
Yeah,
like
because I mean, right here on this globe, it's like you see whenever you look at a globe, you see two prevalent colors. You see the green of the continents, and you see the blue. The blue obviously represents water, but in your experience, every time that you've seen water accumulate to a point where it touched all edges of its container, whether it's your bathtub, whether it's a swimming pool, whether it's a lake when you went fishing, the surface was always flat. Even your glass of water, just the same.
Except a snow globe.
Yeah, the surface.
What? Snow globe is on the curve of the
right. So that's the thing. It's like we were told that if we're on a globe, that means that water curves at some point.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
Jay's trying to process it.
None of us have ever experienced curving water in large amounts.
You know what he's saying?
I'm just like you said. I'm trying to process because I'm like when you say we haven't experienced curving water.
So like the picture of the Earth.
No,
like
I get that.
Okay.
Like he's got it there.
Like this picture here. What I'm showing is like your glass of water. The surface is flat. There's a little puddle. The surface is flat. There's a little pond here. The surface is flat. You're on a lake. Rivers or oceans play by the same rules as the glass of water. The natural physics of water is for water to seek and find its level. And the only pictures that we have of water curving are pictures that you're never going to be able to take for yourself.
Okay.
You see?
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, I didn't know what he meant at all, but actually, it clicked pretty early in the process.
So yeah, that's why I brought my visual aids right there. As far as
but I mean, you could say water curves in the sense of, like, if you, as an example, like let's say there's a bowl instead of a glass. If you're looking at the bottom part, it's curved. Well, because there's a barrier there, which, in a sense here, you have a barrier on a flat Earth.
Yes.
So I mean, you're saying bodies, they don't curve on the top.
I mean, on the surface. On the surface. On the surface. Water does conform to whatever container it's in. Like Bruce Lee said.
Yeah. Water can flow, it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Be water, my friend. Yeah.
Studied
with Bruce Lee. We all love him and know his words.
Bruce Lee's
I know, right?
Students.
So yeah, I mean, it'll take the shape of a pitcher, it'll take the shape of a tub, whatever, but the surface of water is always flat.
Could a person, I'm again playing devil's advocate, or I guess a globie.
Yeah.
Could a person say, well, that's the I'm sure this is what the argument is, and I'm saying that.
No, Jay. We know you're not trying to be offensive.
No. Yeah. I was going to say I'm definitely not smart enough to explain this the way I want to. So you're probably going to destroy this theory. But wouldn't you say, or could I'm wondering if globies say this, is that it's the gravity that pulls that to keep it flat?
Of course they say that.
Okay.
And
then how you destroy that is what I'm like. I'm on team flat Earth.
and the way that I destroy that is that in flat Earth is we don't need imaginary forces like gravity. So here,
but you could say you have imaginary forces in this thing that's run by people you don't know, and that nobody has been able to see. And that there's, what's stopping us from flying off into space?
Exactly. The explanation for that is density and buoyancy. Density being the means through which objects rise and fall through the medium of air. And then buoyancy, the means through which objects rise and fall or sink or float in the medium of water or a liquid. So, I drop my keys in a pool, my keys are going to fall to the bottom because my keys are more dense than the water that surrounds it. I drop a basketball into the pool, the basketball is going to float because the oxygen inside is less dense.
Got it.
Okay, so just the same on a molecular level, you have a helium balloon. All right. Helium on a molecular level is less dense than oxygen. So you fill up the balloon, that's why it floats. At no point have we ever looked at a balloon and said, that's an anti-gravity device. You've never said that. You just know that helium is less dense than oxygen. That's why it floats, just like hot air balloons. When they shoot the fire into the balloon, the exterior of the balloon acts as a barrier between the oxygen on the outside and the oxygen on the inside. The fire causes the oxygen molecules to expand to a point to where they become less dense than the oxygen molecules on the outside, causing the balloon to float. So there's that.
Jay just glazed over.
I'm
actually still with you, and I don't know why I'm surprised.
Dude,
I'm like Frank the
keep
Tank
going.
when
Don't
he just,
stop though.
Yeah,
when he just
Go.
blinked out. And he
I'm
was
trying
like,
to catch up. I'm behind you guys, just running like I'm gonna catch him.
It's like you in a pool.
Yeah. So
When you want to float, and you like, you know, like how you make your body float, and if you like make yourself heavy, and then you sink into the bottom.
Okay, what do we? I get all that, but and what is this in reference
Gravity.
to?
Gravity.
This is the. So do you not believe in gravity?
no.
So because so if I stand up right now and I jump and I come back down, I'm coming down because I am less dense than the
Because you're heavier than the air
heavier
that's
than
around you. That's it. That's it. It's a lot less complicated on the flat Earth because gravity.
Let's take that whole gravity thing out.
'Cause if
you're heavier than air.
Because here, if you look at the way that gravity works on Earth, gravity is supposed to be
Gravity.
it's a gravity. we call it gravity with 2 B's. That's the fun part. All right, so gravity, what that does, that's responsible on Earth. It's supposed to be this force that's keeping things from flying off into space. Like you had said earlier, that's another program response, by the way. You know, keeps the from flying off into space. I'm like, so if it weren't for this thing, we'd all just go. That's
also the
crazy talk.
okay, I'm gonna keep. I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
So the
I'm
thing,
still trying to catch
I
up.
know.
Don't get another thing in there.
I know.
So the way-
Jay's chasing the school bus, and that thing is 2 miles down the road now.
So it's basically saying that, okay, you think about, I give the example of my van. My van's like, let's say 4,000 pounds.
Okay.
All right, so I'm on the globe, I'm at like a 45-degree angle, like this, relatively out in space, affected by gravity and all that. And the strength of gravity is keeping my 4,000-pound van from flying off into space.
You're right.
But I pause it and then I park it and then I just jump out the van. I'm walking around like it ain't nothing. Why? If gravity's so strong, it can.
Why isn't
hold
it
that,
equal? Across all?
We should be crushed if gravity's that strong.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Like the pressure of the ocean.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
That's why they call it the gravitational pull.
Right.
It's like pulling everything back down. So if it's pulling this 4,000-pound object the same, why am I 175 pounds and I'm able to just walk around like
lean? By the way,
there's no problem. Thank you.
he's a bodybuilder. I was looking on your Instagram and I had to stop. I was looking for flat Earth stuff and I was like, this dude is ripped.
And you're like flat stomachs.
And I was eating cookies at the time, which didn't help.
Like man,
just put the cookie down, then picked it back up. Like,
It's like flat Earth globe.
Jay, that one stuck between the gloves.
that's messed
I saw some stars.
So going to, if you're going with and I'm sure you're gonna just snap it down, which is great. Going with the flat earther theory on it, when planes do like the thing where you can float,
Stall?
where they have the G forces or whatever. How does that work?
Well, the plane's moving as a result of the air flying over the wings and
Lift.
Then the air is being sucked through the turbines. Like the engines, it's like pulling the air through there and moving it like it's like a vortex.
I took a airplane class in college.
Is how that
But I'm saying why like when you have those G forces, then the people can just float. Why wouldn't it stay constant?
Oh, those are like the zero gravity
Yes.
planes. When they go up really high, they do a parabolic maneuver, diving right back down. And for a while, they're in a kind of on the inside of the plane. They're like doing the zero gravity, I guess is just what they call it. And you know they move totally different on the inside, and that's just as a matter of the plane doing that parabolic maneuver. That's what affects them on the inside.
Right,
But it's just the plane, not the atmosphere.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the motion of the plane doing that
That
dive.
specific maneuver.
Yeah.
But okay, because I was thinking like going back to it should all be constant with or the same, or that shouldn't affect it if you're doing the flatter. Dude,
Jay's mind is
I know.
just
He's like,
I know.
super. It's just
Dude.
like a scrambled egg.
like what?
just boom, altered
E
states.
equals
So I had
MC
to-
squared. Alexander Hamilton. Just like flirting out.
Aaron Burr.
Doesn't even know.
just tap out. That's out.
Like, all right, I quit.
Okay, I want to talk about a couple more proof things, right?
All right.
So a couple.
Yes.
I looked on your channel, and you did a leveler experiment, right?
Yes.
Because a lot of questions we got was about like when planes go up, why don't they just go straight up, right? Like, literally up into wherever they would go, right? Yeah. And you did an experiment where you flew. I don't remember where you flew, but you flew from one destination to another. Yeah. And you had a leveler on the tray.
I put it on the tray table. Yeah.
So tell us about that and what you were testing and what you found.
Like, where is? I don't even think I had a picture on here.
You got a lot of visual aids.
That's messed up. All right.
Whoa, dude, whose penis is that?
Oh no, there it is. No. This is actually a picture. This is on the bottom of all globes. It says globes are not meant for educational purposes, but for decorative purposes only.
I've never even looked at that.
Go pick up a globe.
That's
Next time you're at the store, you see a globe. Pick up the bottom of it. You're gonna see.
I never even looked at that.
So
it also says made in China.
There you go. There you go. On the bottom of the globe.
Snow Globe says this is real.
Right. All right. Okay. So the level experiment, and that was what kind of made me famous.
You were popping in the video has a lot of. By the way, you got a lot of videos with a lot of views. Just tell people where your channel is real quick if they're still watching.
Yeah, the channel name is D.Marble. D.Marble.
Okay.
Come and check me out.
I'm sure they're still watching.
Marble.
Yeah.
Blue marble.
Yeah.
Layers.
Whoa. I'm saying. Boom. Now wait. I get that a lot.
Do you really?
I do. They're like, wait a minute.
You're clothing.
Yeah. So they say he's obviously a shill. I'm like, I like to think of it as being more prophetic.
That's hilarious.
Would that not make sense for God to send someone named Marble
That's hilarious.
to destroy the blue
great.
marble deception?
I love it.
Wouldn't that be God's sense of humor? Think about it. Think about it.
This is great.
This is going to be the guy. And I'm going to name him Marble. It's going to be awesome. Watch this.
Right.
So, on the spirit level experiment, I was just talking with this guy at my job. And what I was trying to tell him, I was like, Omar, look. And I was a transportation tech at the time. Okay. I do like turn-ins and all that at work now.
Attorney?
Turn-ins. Just turning in old equipment. Yeah.
Got it.
So I was working with the load crew because they would load up the vehicles and I would ship them out. So I'm chatting with these guys almost every day. I go there at 9:15. That's their lunch break, or one of their breaks. I go down there at 9 and just chat with them for a few minutes. I was like watching my flat Earth videos, and then I come back like, all right, guys, here's what I got.
Right.
I'm back to give flat Earth class.
Right.
So there was one point I was talking to my dude Omar, and I'm saying, I'm like, look, so here's the thing. A level wouldn't really work on a globe because here, if I'm like here in Tacoma and I got this level and I sit it on the ground and the bubble's in the middle, and then I drive down to Portland 2 hours away and I sit the level on the ground and the bubble's in the middle, that means it's flat. But I was like, well, wait a minute, then I would have to have the level somewhere where I'm driving. I would have to have somebody hold it so it's level the whole time.
You're saying like at some point the Earth has to have some curve
because it's
to go from Seattle or Tacoma to Portland. Yes. Even if it's only two hours drive, whatever. Yeah. Like it has to curve.
There's got to be some curvature. Fun fact: let's say Portland's 100 miles away from Tacoma. All right, the way that spherical trigonometry works out is for like 10 miles, it's gonna be 66.6 feet of curvature.
Okay.
100 miles, it's gonna be 666 feet of curvature. 1,000, it's gonna be 666.
Yeah.
10,000. I'm like, and then another aspect of it is they say the Earth is tilted at 23.4 degrees on its axis, and so you look at the inverse, the 90. Take 23.4 from 90, it's 66.6 degrees. Of angular tilt. So
never good at math. I got lost. After you said 66 miles in Portland curvature, I was just in class like, I'm failing this test, whatever lesson we're on. This is fractions for me. When I was a kid, when they talk fractions, I was like, nope.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. But I actually do get what you're saying.
Okay.
The basic thing is it would have to curve at some point to make a globe.
Yes. But wouldn't this is the other argument, wouldn't you would have to have a level though that's
really long.
thousands of miles. Yeah,
That's what I'm told. That's what people keep saying. That's one of the things that they say.
Because if I have a beach ball here,
dude, I get so many of the same comments on this thing. So I'm telling you about the evolution of my thought process behind that experiment. Right. I'm like, so I'd have to drive from Tacoma to Portland, have somebody hold it, and then I was like, well, wait a minute, I got a flight coming up. I'm gonna be flying from. I'm going out to meet my daughter. You remember Naseo, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going out to meet her or go see her for a weekend. Because she was turning, I believe, I don't know. Never mind. Anyway, so
I don't care how my daughter was doing.
I'm going to visit her. That's none of your business. Right. She had a birthday coming up.
Right. Mind yours.
None of your business. So you know, I'm going to see her for her birthday that weekend, and I get with my Flat Earth group on Facebook. I'm like, hey guys, I got a flight coming up. I got an idea. I'm going to take a level on here. Can you you know, send me a link to the spherical trigonometry calculator and all that to figure out the curvature. I got a flight coming up. I'm going to put a level on a tray table and record X amount of miles of flight, and there should be this much missing curvature. Boom. Yeah. And they sent me the stuff, and I, you know, did the thing. I put the level on the tray table after we took off. The flight was from North Carolina back to Seattle, and I recorded 203.85 miles. And I got that because it was 23 minutes and 45 seconds of time lapse recording the bubble, because I mean, it was anticlimactic as all outside. You just got a level and you're just recording. So I had to put my little iPhone timer here to show you the time elapse. So you're looking at this the whole time, and the bubble's staying centered. It'll move a little bit from right to left, but not significant to a point to where you can actually see that the plane is nosing down.
Right.
So basically, I recorded 203 miles.
Because that's what you're saying. If the Earth is a globe and a plane kept a straight path and didn't like basically readjust down, which eventually it would get further away from the Earth. Right?
There would be more space between the
if it's not like constantly nosing down to not adjust, but to, I guess, adjust for the Earth's curvature. It has to kind of always be like going around, especially like on an international flight.
Yes.
If you're going from here, I think we've flown from here to London. Yeah. You imagine it's got to be like always readjusting. Yeah. Okay. And you didn't find that on your experiment? None. Okay.
Not at all. Not sufficient. I mean, the bubble moved, but not sufficient to a point where it would show that the plane was actually dipping the nose to compensate.
Compensate is the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
You be having 3 syllables. My brain be like, bro, chicken.
I've been saying this.
Cheese,
I've been saying this
bacon.
same stuff
and I'm
for
like syllable.
Syllable. I got one. That was 3 syllables, right? Yeah.
So that leveler proved that the Earth's not round because the plane never had to compensate enough.
Well, it basically showed that this device that I was inside of, this vehicle, was flying through the air over a flat plane.
Got it. I see your point.
Airplane.
Whoa.
Gee.
How many words do you have that you can do that with?
It's flying through the air over a plane. What shall we call it?
Sun worshippers.
Think about it.
Yeah. Boeing.
And they put it out and they put it in plain sight for us. You know what I mean?
Plain.
Yeah.
Sight.
Plain. Think about it.
Go ahead, Jay.
That's what they did, man. I'm telling you.
I'm looking at because I want to, dude. I don't think we've asked one question.
I'm just picking up my phone.
It's been a couple of questions.
I mean, you have answered some in here, but I've never looked at this once to be like.
Here's a big one that people ask a lot.
Yes.
How do you reconcile satellite
images showing the Earth is round?
That's what we hit on earlier. Yeah. The satellite images showing that the Earth is round. Yeah.
So are satellites real? Do you believe that?
Yes and no.
Because you could, I mean, even if you believe the Earth is flat, you could technically still have satellites, right?
Well, we've seen video where a satellite would crash in Brazil that was connected to a weather balloon. So it's like they'll put these devices together and then they'll launch them from somewhere like Antarctica, attach these weather balloons, and it's something floating around up there. But as far as satellites out in space taking these pictures orbiting around Earth, No, there's none of that.
What about like the Red Bull guy that did the parachute from?
Into
man.
Earth? Was it Travis Pastrana?
It was Felix Baumgartner.
Felix Baumgartner.
Yeah, so
Travis Pastrana is like a DMX biker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally the only name of Red Bull.
White people.
Was it Travis Barker? No, it's the drummer.
that's the drummer for Blink 182, right? Yeah. Then he had like the mohawk. Oh, yeah, all the tattoos. All right. As far as Felix goes, that you know what? Neil deGrasse Tyson actually shot that one down.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, man. He was doing a talk at South by Southwest back in 2015, and he was talking about how everybody was looking at Felix's edge of space jump and saying that he would only be like that far off the globe, and that's not high enough to actually see any curvature.
Got it. Yeah.
For one, so it's deceptive the way that they use the fisheye lens cameras, and that's what creates the artificial curvature when you're looking at these high altitude.
That makes a lot of sense.
Pictures, you know. So that's what they had on the outside of the cockpit, but there was a camera on the inside of the cockpit where Felix was at, and it showed the horizon, and it was completely flat out there. And Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's like, you would not be able to see any curvature from there. That stuff is flat. He said verbatim, that stuff is flat. It was awesome.
Oh,
Now,
You were like, yes.
I was like, we got him. We got him.
ladies and
That
gentlemen,
dude is
we got
toast.
him.
He's done.
Is Neil deGrasse Tyson a flat earther?
Neil deGrasse Tyson is one of our arch enemies.
Oh, really?
Yes.
But so you caught him slipping.
Yeah.
Why is he one of your arch enemies?
I'm saying he's one of the propped up globe defenders out in the mainstream. He's
Prop. That
up.
was the word in the comment.
He's all propped
He's
up.
a prop.
I'm not a prop.
No, not you.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying the people in your comments were saying that a person is a prop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the word. I was saying there's a word.
Yeah. I'm saying that it's like the mainstream like puts him out in the forefront. Like they used to have Carl Sagan and he died. They use Neil deGrasse Tyson. They use Bill Nye. Like those are supposed
Bill
to.
Nye?
Yeah, Bill Nye.
The science guy?
He's in on it. Yeah.
Oh, Globa.
They're actors,
Globey.
man.
They forced me to watch him when I was a kid. Bill Nye,
Mind
the
control.
flat earth.
You know how he's a liar? Nye, liar.
Bill Lie,
Yeah.
the lion
Bill,
guy.
you're paying to be lied to.
Bill Nye, the
Nye.
lion guy, the pseudoscience guy.
Oh my God.
Serious, man?
Will I am?
Making words up now.
I'm saying, man, that's what they do.
This is a great question.
Okay,
Wait,
go ahead.
wait. Ooh, can we circle back to Felix?
No, can we
Yes.
flat back to Felix?
Yeah, boom. There you go. Hey, you can.
We're on board.
All right. So back to Felix. The thing is, okay, so in order for him to get that altitude to do his Red Bull jump from the edge of space, it took like 2 hours to get to that altitude. Now, while he was up there, he was independent of the surface of the Earth. Now, the Earth is supposed to be spinning 2,000 miles or 1,000 miles per hour. He's up there 2 hours. That should be 2,000 miles away from where he took off at because the Earth is supposed to be
Because
moving.
if it's moving and he's going straight up, the Earth is always rotating.
Yeah.
Do
Got it,
Globies
okay.
say that the gravity kept him?
No, they say that the atmosphere is also moving with the globe. I'm like, when does
You like
air
how I'm
move?
now referring to them as Globies?
Right.
Oh, you
Those
jumped
Globies.
in. You jumped in 20 minutes in.
yeah,
It became us versus them.
He's wonderful.
He has no idea how the math works, but he's like, you guys, if there's idiots, it's them, not me.
Right. He's like,
Okay, go.
so what the Globies say is that the atmosphere is some way or another moving with the surface of the Earth, and it's all moving relative. So we don't really feel any motion, and we don't have to worry about that. In actuality, you know, when he became independent of the surface of the Earth was supposed to keep moving under him for that like 2,000 miles. So he should have ended up somewhere in like the Pacific Ocean.
And he just basically went straight up and straight down.
Yeah, and came back down a couple miles from where he was at.
And that couldn't be. I get that.
That's a
if
fit-
the Earth is spinning, there's no way for him to go straight up and down if you believe the Earth is
Right.
spinning.
Yeah.
So that's saying you, a Globie,
Yeah.
under your guise, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying the Earth is flat and stationary.
So it would make sense if you believe what I believe.
If you believe what I believe, it makes perfect sense for him to be able to go up and then come right back down because the Earth isn't moving.
Do
Got
flat
it.
earthers have an idea of where the top of the dome would be?
Not necessarily, but interestingly enough, after some Antarctic expeditions, back in the 40s, 50s.
Wait, how'd they get there?
Well, I'm saying
Before the treaty.
Before the treaty, that's right.
there was this guy, Admiral Richard Byrd. He was commissioned by the military and given full.
When you say
funding
military,
to
do you mean
actually go-
United States military?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a naval officer.
Okay, got it.
So he was given funds, given a crew, all the equipment that he could need, and he did exploration to the North Pole and he did exploration to Antarctica. And he came back and did an interview wherein he said that they actually bumped into a landmass. They got up. He says they got up to a large ice shelf, got up on top of the ice shelf, and continued straight through there for like hundreds of miles.
I'm just trying to understand. When you say got up, like what do you mean? Like they hit the edge and it's like this?
Yeah.
Like what do you mean?
Repel?
Once they got to Antarctica, it's like
Repel's coming down.
I know.
He defined it
You didn't
as
have to call it.
as they got to a point where there was an ice shelf that was like 2 miles up.
And they scaled it.
So
Okay.
so they had, I mean, helicopters, planes. They had some way or another they got up on top of that ice shelf.
With the boat?
Not with the boat. They had to park the boat and
Oh, okay. Got it.
yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
Got it. Got it.
And then just continue on out there, or they had planes. There was that.
He had planes?
They had planes back in the like 1945 and all that. Yeah.
Got it. No, I understand that, but I'm saying like, is he like radioing to somebody like, hey guys, we hit something. Meet me at these coordinates.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, got it.
I mean, he, like I said, he had full funding from the government at that time, so they were like, okay, you want to go explore? Go explore.
Got it.
So he had the plane, got up there, and just continued on flying, and said they came to a point to where the ice shelf kind of cleared up, and they came to another landmass as large as the U.S.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's
An Iceland mass or
no,
a different?
it was a landmass. It had like warm water areas. There was like animals, looked like a woolly mammoth or
Dude,
something.
I cannot wait till this airs so I can go and look all this stuff up because it's so interesting to me.
Man.
It's
So what happened? Did he just like turn around and come back?
Well, I mean, he had to because they were going to run out of supplies. But he said that the landmass is larger than the continental United States and that it was untouched. That it was rich in minerals, coal.
He found Wakanda.
How would he know
bro.
that though, unless he went across the whole thing?
It's
to know-
Wakanda, bro. You
Okay,
stepped
my
out
bad.
on
Yeah,
toe.
like that's what he was saying. That's what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? Like the El Dorado.
I have some questions that I actually typed down myself that I want to ask.
Here's one I want to make sure you get to. Have you ever talked to a scientist to discuss your evidence of flat Earth? How'd the conversation go?
Have I discussed it with a scientist? Actually, no. I get these pseudoscientists,
That'd be me.
pseudo intellectual individuals.
Just crushed.
Trying, making their, because what they're gonna do is defend the status quo because
Right.
they're already part of the system. They're
Right.
already
Props.
like they're.
Propeller.
I'm saying
Government.
Plane. Chips ahoy.
professional. They are pros at confessing the narrative. So think about it, man.
Right.
So what they do is like they're just gonna give the scientific answer, and the thing is, it's like the globe
They're
model-
coming right now, dude. We got to stop talking. I don't know if you can hear it. There's a helicopter in the background.
I'll bet it's black. I bet it's a black helicopter.
All right, I believe it's a globe. It's a globe. I'm back to
Yeah, and I'm saying I'm out here putting my position
man.
down on social media.
Right.
Like people know where I'm at. They're like,
Yeah.
hey, he's
Yeah.
in L.A.
Flat Earth coordinates.
Send the boys over. Make sure he never gets back to Tacoma. All right. So yeah, man. Where were we at?
Pseudoscientists that try and fight you.
So they're just gonna come back with the official narrative because that's what they're getting paid for. When scientists come with information that's contradictory to what
Is the status quo?
Yeah, what's the status quo?
Yeah.
They're at risk of losing funding or losing a job.
Because it comes from the government. Thus funds, grants come from the government. Yeah.
Manhattan Project.
Oh, I'm not even up on that one.
Oh, okay.
Is that a conspiracy?
It's yeah.
Isn't it
Time
Adam Bomb
travel. And,
Oh, okay, yeah, I heard
Yeah.
about it. I'm not well versed. on
okay.
it.
So
I like I said,
which conspiracies do you subscribe to? Is flat Earth? Are there any other ones?
Flat Earth is the one that I believe is kind of the most important and the easiest to prove.
Okay.
And watch this. I got your back. Actually, it's the globists that is a theory.
Yeah.
See, I got you.
The globe is a theory because
Yeah.
I mean it has to be proven, just like the theory of gravity.
Yeah.
The theory of evolution. The theory of evolution.
Yeah,
the theory
Cam.
of relativity. It's all theories.
Yeah.
Being pushed.
Practice
Love theory.
medicine. You practice medicine. They don't know.
Yeah.
Who are you? Okay, I got a couple more questions. Not to end, but I have a couple more questions that I personally like. So we are taught that our seasons are based on the Earth's relation to the sun.
Ooh,
right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you believe the Earth is flat, where do seasons come into play?
Oh, the way that seasons come into play, and actually, I have a short video about this.
Would you say that was a good question?
I was ready for it. We got asked about
So it
seasons
wasn't
a
good.
lot.
He was ready for
No,
it.
no,
No. Don't.
Me
You don't
and
say
Jay got
nothing
a whole
else.
thing. Who can ask the best good question? But you did go.
He said I was ready for
But
it.
that was more a preparation thing.
Gotcha.
Cool,
All right,
cool, yeah.
All right. So
Hope you got an answer.
so the way that seasons work, and I had explained this in one of my videos. It's like I called it the red pill discussion. Now
Okay.
on the flat Earth, that we will refer back to the azimuthal equidistant map, the circular
Right.
flat map, right?
You
So-
globies don't know. It's cool.
Yeah. You know, we'll call it the AE map
Okay.
for short.
Okay.
That's what we do anyway.
Okay.
So the thing is, like, the way that the sun and the moon work.
Show Josh so he knows which picture to put up.
Okay, so the sun and the moon work by the sun makes a clockwise circuit over the face of the Earth. Now, during our summer months, the sun is making a closer, tighter circuit to the northern center.
Okay.
And that's why in Alaska they have that 24-hour sunlight, right? So
Because where they are in relation to where the sun is.
yeah, because the heat and the light from the sun is ever present because it's so much closer, like inside the equator, it's closer to the center. So they have 24-hour daylight. And I actually went to Alaska last year.
test it?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got 2 24-hour time lapses of the sun making a circle over my head.
Really?
was
Is this on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I got the video right here. Let me pull it up real quick. It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen. So this is the second day, and here, let's pull it back for just a
Your
second.
battery life is insane if you
The
got
podcast is gonna love this part.
biggest fan of time lapse.
All right, so yeah,
Got them all over the globe. Or
yeah,
did
man. So let me see. We'll just bring it forward a little bit. We had a reference point.
Hold on, let's just pause. If you're listening on the podcast, you might want to watch this episode.
Yeah.
Because you need to see some of these visual references.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'll send you a link to the video. So this is the second day, and this we had better weather on the second day. We went to a place called Tok, Alaska, at this random truck stop. So we got the sun in the sky, and I just do a look. There was this orange pole right there. So I just take the camera and do a quick 360 around just to show where we are. Okay, and then I come back, and there's the pole. And then
Okay.
that's when the sun starts to move.
Oh, then you post your
Yeah.
not post, but you freeze your camera there,
Yeah,
or
pretty,
like mount it.
it was on I had
Tripod?
a swivel mount. I call it a swivel mount. It might be something else.
This is flat Earth music,
Yeah. So you'll see the sun moving.
right?
And I'm just staying in one spot, watching the sun move over my head. And it goes out behind the hills.
Beautiful sunset though.
At this point, the sun was like over Africa. At like 2 a.m, I could still see it from Alaska.
That's crazy.
Right? So then it comes right back over the hill.
Wait, did you stay there for 24 hours to do this?
Yes.
Did you have to pee?
I'm a scientist, man. Look, and then it comes right back to the orange pole. So
Okay.
in essence, it actually did do a 360 degree over our heads. So yeah,
Perfect music.
Yeah.
yeah, man.
You are super dedicated.
I am.
I love it.
You are really dedicated to that.
Yeah.
So it's a version of what we're taught about seasons, but not in the sense of the Earth spinning around the globe,
Right.
but in the sense of the distance between where the sun is in relation to where we are at the
Yeah,
time.
it's like the Earth is like this central area, and the sun moves, not us.
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's like that they flip the whole thing around. That's what the devil does, mocking God. They take God's creation and then they'll just flip it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Just make up down, make right left, make wrong right, make call bitter sweet. It's not right. They do it. You know that.
Do flat earthers believe that the sun is inside this dome or on the outside of the dome?
It will
Varies,
say,
or-
yeah, it depends on who you're asking.
Gotcha.
I would I'll go with the biblical cosmology as it's said. I believe it was Genesis 1:16 that the two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, the sun, and the lesser light to rule the night. That's the moon, and said that God placed them in the firmament, and the firmament is what's referred to as the dome.
Got it.
Also,
that's another word you guys use a lot
Yeah.
in your channel. The firmament.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say,
my question's going to be unrelated to.
So I'm assuming you're Christian,
Ish.
or would you call it Christianish? All right.
Yeah. I'm Bible believer, but not dedicated to any religion.
Gotcha.
As religion has been found to be another form of mind control.
I got you. Then as
So you don't go to the church we used to go to. Okay, cool. I just want
Hadn't seen Dave in years.
somebody else is playing the bass. now.
Christianity,
Right.
anti,
Right.
Rihanna.
Chris and Rihanna, Chris Brown, Rihanna, Christiana.
You're just saying.
I know.
things.
All right,
Anything you say with those words,
with that voice inflection,
milkshake, it doesn't make sense. But I did
Kev in, Kev on,
on.
Boom.
staged.
On
This is all
stage.
staged.
Yeah. The whole world is a stage. The stage is flat below.
No, I was
My head is shaped like a globe, regardless of what you believe.
flat top. I was going to say, and I guess you could maybe answer for flat earthers in general. Is there a conflict of interest, so to speak, for somebody to be a Christianity and a flat earther, or
Christian?
No.
Christian?
Well,
Sorry.
well, no. Typically,
so many words have thrown into my head today that I don't know.
Well, typically the idea when someone comes across flat Earth, they typically go right back to their Bible because it lines up way better with Scripture than the globe model.
Yeah.
You know, because we're told that the Earth is spinning around the sun, but if you go look at the Bible, it's saying that in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, and then chapter 16 it talks about the sun and the moon were created on the fourth day. So the first 3 days, what was the Earth orbiting around? Aha.
Look at Kev's about to.
Nothing.
I-
Because the Earth isn't orbiting,
Maybe he hadn't started it yet.
There we go.
I'm just building it. I ain't turned the oven on. It's my prep period.
Here, give me a spark plug.
Like, hold on.
Snap. I've never even thought about that at all.
Yeah. If you think about it,
And also the Bible, I'm just saying this out loud. One thing that I questioned, God said in the beginning, made it in our image. Who's our?
Our.
Who's we?
Why are we speaking in terms of we? Who are we?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to, man?
I never really said that out loud. I just thought that was interesting.
I feel you.
So here's one thing I saw in your comments for a lot. I don't know why, but chemtrails. People would just type chemtrails in the comments.
Dude.
And I was like, what are you? Like, nope, just chemtrails.
Wait.
So what's the significance of chemtrails?
Chemtrails, in my opinion. Well, here, do you prescribe to the idea of chemtrails?
So if I understand it, when planes are passing by and they leave that white like cloud, so to speak, I took airplanes. I don't know what they said, but they had an explanation for
Was
that.
that the class?
Yeah.
I literally-
You're going to take airplanes.
Yes.
They-
At UW. It was a class called airplane.
They told you it was condensation.
That's what it was. Condensation.
It's ice crystals, bro.
Yes. Okay.
I know. That's the same ridiculous stuff that they say.
And I was just like, all right, I don't know.
Okay.
I just need the grade.
For real. It doesn't really make me no difference what it is.
that's what-
I don't care.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
if y'all say condensation, that's what's on the quiz. I'm writing condensation.
I'm saying chemicals because, one, there's pictures of pictures that people have posted online of the interior of these chemtrail planes where they have all these canisters, these aerosol canisters on the inside, and they're like completely gutted. There's no seats in there, nobody serving beverages or anything. It's just an empty plane, canisters on the side where they're being sprayed. So there's that. People have done soil samples of different areas. Where,
I've seen that. I've seen that.
where-
Of where chemtrails were ahead or overhead.
Yep.
And then they've like tested the ground and
Yeah.
been like, yo, this. And then they tested with somewhere else. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a person, but they tested somewhere else that didn't have chemtrails and they would notate a difference.
Yeah. And it's like they're like finding traces of aluminum, barium, strontium in the form of sulfates. And I mean that's into the ground, and it gets into the clouds, rains down, the trees will suck up that stuff and just start to just die off.
Do you believe that? So there's another conspiracy theory about the weather, that the government controls the weather.
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, yes,
Dude,
like,
this guy,
you know, like
Globy.
what the heck. All right, so look, there's there's the let me see, what's that? The high altitude auroral research project.
Oh, yeah.
HARP.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, those facilities where they have the alignments of antennas where they can project power into the sky, and then basically force the clouds up, move them to another place, and then like just displace. Yeah, it's possible.
So I've also people believe that like Hurricane Katrina and natural disasters are government not funded but allowed. Do you subscribe to that as well?
Yeah,
because Hurricane Katrina, they said it wasn't as much the weather as the levees.
Yeah,
like the levees weren't up to speed, I guess, not speed, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They weren't prepared for that.
Yeah.
And had that been done right, there wouldn't have been as much damage.
Yep.
So what do you think the government has to gain from these natural disasters?
Displacing people from where they're living at, so they can continue on to push forward this agenda. I mean, it's called like Agenda 21, Agenda 2030. It's kind of like plans for depopulation. If you've heard of the Georgia Guidestones, you heard that?
I thought that was a country music
They opened
group.
for the Four Tops.
When you said it, I literally thought that was a country music group.
So there's
They opened
actually
for a country music artist. I
yeah,
can't even name one.
there's actually this monument in Georgia that was constructed a long time ago. It's like it's called the Georgia Guidestones. These things are like tall, and it's like 12 different languages. It's basically like the 10 commandments of the New World Order. You know, and one of the things is to bring the population down to a sustainable level, like 500 million.
The Thanos thing. Balance,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
That's all. I'm not trying to hurt nobody.
Basically,
There's too many people.
I'm just trying to restore balance.
Trying to restore balance.
Yeah.
By the way, let's pause. Thanos did exactly what he said he was going to do. Usually in movies, villains don't be. He said, "Here's what I'm finna do,"
And
I did it. It's done. Movie over.
Thanos was about it.
He was about that game plan.
Yeah.
Dude. I'm saying, and he
Ain't
went
personal.
home.
He's like, ain't personal.
Ain't no personal,
Yeah.
bro.
I'm saying,
I gotta lose something too. Gamora gone. That's my girl.
Right.
I gotta lose her. Y'all gonna lose some people. By the way, do you believe Thanos when he snapped, he didn't think he might disappear?
Yeah, dude.
I didn't even think about
Wouldn't that suck if he did?
Now you got new
Oh.
videos to watch. He's gonna come back on here.
Right.
Well, I guess he would have had the rewind stone, the time stone.
Yeah, I'm saying.
But if you're gone, though.
Thanos snaps, and then he starts to disintegrate. Like,
Oh,
wait a
yeah.
minute, wait.
Not me. Them.
He like, no. Whoa.
That would have sucked.
Oh,
Totally
man.
different movie, by the way.
I'd have been like, that's what you get. That's what you get.
What's your thoughts on UFOs, aliens?
Good question.
Okay, aliens.
I gotta be honest.
The identity of aliens is demons, actually. Yeah, because there was this guy, Aleister Crowley. He was like a high-level Satanist.
England? Was he from England?
I think so.
I think I remember that name. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So he
No, for real, I remember that name.
pretty much deemed himself to be the most wicked man alive. Called himself the Beast, 666, and all that. And there was one point where he was supposedly channeling a demonic entity named Ham. And
Sorry.
Pork? Can't eat pork?
Just thinking,
Ham?
I literally saw a ham sandwich. Like,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
That's a demonic entity if you tell me to, because I'm not supposed to eat it.
right.
But I do eat it.
He didn't even say ham, dude. He said him. You're just hearing stuff.
Did you say ham?
No,
or ham?
no.
I'm about to say, if I've heard burgers and ham in the same day and you haven't said it, I really got to get my eating under control.
I'm saying, like,
That was definitely...
You literally wait. You said him? Oh no.
All right, go ahead. I'm
Ham?
sorry.
Were you talking about singing? No, you were talking about ham. Okay, ham. So Aleister went ham, and no. So he was talking to this entity called Ham, and he actually presented himself to Aleister Crowley, and he drew him, and he looked like one of the big head aliens that we see with the big eyes, the no hair and all that. So basically the idea is that these fallen angels are what's called aliens these days, like the grays. You know what I'm saying? Like with the big eyes, a little, yeah.
Dude, one of the most interesting, and I know that's kind of a question for that's not necessarily flat earthers theories, but there's a guy I used to work with that was like, he was like brilliant, and he used to tell me all these different theories and stuff. And one of his theories he told me, or one of the theories he was telling me about aliens, which I thought was interesting, is that aliens, or what we know as UFOs, are actually time machines, and aliens are actually humans evolved in the future, coming back trying to change things.
Interstellar.
Dude, I was like, dang.
I used to look into that stuff too. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's like, so they gained access to time travel way off in the future after we ended up looking like that, and then came back to, okay, I get it. Okay, I get it. They're just keeping an eye on us. I used to think the same stuff. I used to believe in the globe too.
Yeah.
That's what we
I was just like
hilarious.
you.
I'm saying, I'm like,
Go on, get out of here, kid. You
I'm like, nah, man.
shake his hair.
I'm like, nah, man. I was just like you, dude. I believe the same thing.
How long has it been since you, or do you remember the date or around the time?
2015.
Yeah, it was 2015, and I mean, even around that same time, man, there was this one video called "The Known Universe," and it would show like a close-up camera angle in the Himalayas, and then it would back out, and it would show the whole continent. It would show the whole globe,
seen that.
and it would
And it
back
kept going all the way out
out
to the galaxy, and then like Milky Way, and it was like we were basically a speck of,
Exactly.
of like the kind of like Men in Black.
And what that does, that whole idea of this,
Infinite.
you're on this little blue speck out in the infinite vastness of space. At the end of that video, or halfway through the video, when you get out that far, by the way, once you get out to as far as you can, it turns into another globe. You remember that?
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
a
yeah,
green
yeah.
CGI globe.
Yeah,
I'm like, so the whole universe is a globe. It's like more of that.
it's just keep going.
Yeah, more subliminal programming. That's what they say.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's designed to make you feel small and insignificant. Because I remember distinctly, I myself was
That is the first thought I had.
I was
They
like,
say, I think they say that in one of the videos.
Yeah, like
how-
they were basically like, take it easy.
Yeah.
You're
We are-
nothing.
we are
You're-
a speck.
A speck of dust.
yeah. And if you think about that, and that goes back to that whole why would the government lie? Yeah, that's why. If you see yourself as not that important, you're just a little speck
Just a
on
speck
this
of
little
dust.
on this little blue ball. There are millions of other galaxies, millions of other planets that can harbor life. You aren't that important. If you start to internalize that feeling, then your mind is more malleable. You're easier to control. If you see yourself in, that low self-esteem spot.
Yeah, you need to group up with people to have an impact.
Yeah.
Takes out the individual. Man, I get it. I'm with you, man. Kev, you don't know.
I'm saying, and then you got to think about the evil people behind that. I mean, you gotta be psychotic to actually want to manipulate someone to see themselves in such a self-defeating way.
So what's the ultimate goal for flat earthers?
To expose this thing, man, we gotta make sure that the world understands that we've all been lied to. Not just us, like you, your children, everybody that you love, your parents, your grandparents. There have been people who
And the whole world, basically. This is more, it's not just a United States thing.
Yeah.
This is a whole, not globe, but...
Yeah.
Is there any governments that they go with the flat Earth theory?
No.
Okay. Yeah, no.
They're all in on it.
Imagine Brazil was just like, nah, bro,
Nah,
y'all
nah.
tripping. It's
Like
flat.
Americans.
I'm saying Guam's over there like, nah, it's flat. I'm not going to the UN this year.
So what would success be for you or your group, the Flat Earth Offensive?
Oh, I don't know exactly what it's going to be. I mean, it's picking up steam.
Yeah.
We're definitely reaching more people these days. The ultimate goal is for us to force change in the world. And it's going to be a lot, and it's going to look crazy for a while, because basically when people figure out that the earth is flat, we're going to immediately lose trust in government, because the government is subsidizing the educational systems.
Yep.
And the educational systems have been pushing the globe model. So
Yes.
we're like, either the teachers knew or the people who are paying the teachers knew. So we don't trust any of y'all.
It's kind of like history books. Like when I went to college and I realized like what you're taught about slavery and
Why did you-
because this was really the first thing. I was just like, I remember a teacher. It was about Nat Turner. She had us read his book about Nat Turner and then told us like, what do you think about it? And we were like, yeah, you know, he was crazy and he was wild and blah blah blah. And then she was like, did you ever think about who wrote it? And I was like, no, I mean, it's just the author. And she was like, well, the author is this white dude and he wants to paint Nat Turner a certain way. And if you have no reason to question that, you're going to believe that that is the case. Same thing for slavery. Like Texas, like, Texas supplies like most of the school books in the United States, Texas Instruments, all that. And there was this big discussion of like they were going to start calling slavery like indentured servitude and blah, blah, and force the teachers to teach that. Perfect example. Thanksgiving. What we thought of Thanksgiving as kids is like, oh, the Native Americans and the Pilgrims, they're drawing turkey hands. And then when you really read, you're like, oh, this was like a massacre. Nobody was smiling at all. It was like death and smallpox, but when you're a kid, you think that was just because everybody tells you that.
And you look forward to it.
You look forward to it
because you're like, oh, that's my favorite. You get to draw
turkeys. It was, then look at them, peace and harmony over turkey and food. And it was like Columbus is another one. He was like awful. Dude, I just read some stuff recently. He was like chopping kids' hands off. They couldn't work. Like he just gets worse and worse. Yeah. But you're taught he was this great explorer who like went against the thing and like, nah, I'm gonna find new land. Which even as a kid, I was like, how did you find new land if there were people there?
Boom.
Yeah. Even as a child, I was like, bro, they have obviously found it.
Right.
If they were already there, like you might have found it to your people, but you're not the first to find America. But nobody like when you're a kid, you're just like, bro. But the answer on the test is Columbus discovered America.
Yeah.
So
I'm
you
just
can
happy
believe
I
what you
found
want.
this house.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't put that. So I brought all that to say NASA as a whole.
Yep.
Do you feel like NASA? Because if the Earth is flat and the government knows it, then NASA is a complete hoax.
Dude, yeah, it's a movie production. Basically.
Yeah.
And it's a continuous movie production. I mean, if you look at some of this stuff, the ISS live feed, it's on a loop.
International Space System.
Yeah.
Or Space Station.
International Space Station, they're supposed to be doing this live feed from there, but I mean, there have been people who have sat here and watched hours and hours to see where it loops back around to the next scene. And I've got a couple videos on my laptop.
And wasn't there something? I don't know if it was that.
It's not real, man.
There was. I don't know if it was that, but there was. I think there was some type of video from space, or maybe it was a satellite or something that showed something that was not that they wanted to show, and so they cut the feed.
Yeah,
like on Truman Show.
They do that.
Yeah,
they do that a lot. I mean, it's like there is one where we can see. It was like back at Houston. At NASA headquarters, they were pushing George Bush Sr. through there, and when they're moving him, it's like you can see in the background there's an astronaut in front of this blue screen, but there's a big monitor out like in front of that whole thing. It's like they got the camera here, they're filming the astronaut in front of the blue screen, but then there's a monitor right here, and it's showing like a background of the International Space Station. And I'm telling you, there's all kinds of videos where you can see wires. They're using harnesses. They're using green screen tech. It's
one big episode of the Truman Show.
Real talk.
I love that movie.
I'm telling you, I got a couple videos called "Crashing the ISS."
Really?
Yeah, check them out.
Speaking of check them out,
yes,
we're running out of time. I'm going through puberty. Tell the people where they can find you, what you have coming up, looking forward to.
Where on this flat Earth can they find you?
Where on the flat Earth can you find me? You can find me at my channel, D Marble, on YouTube, on Facebook. It's Daryl Marble, DarrYle. You can follow me on there if I don't have enough friends or whatever. On Instagram at D_Marble_FE
for flat Earth.
Yeah, because that's what I do.
Not iron, which is FE
somebody's
is that correct?
wicked smart.
I believe so.
FE might be iron.
Iron sharpens iron.
Look at the big brain on Kev.
I know.
Big Luby. But thank you so much, Daryl, for coming and chatting with us. And we hope you think we've treated you fairly?
I believe so.
All right, great.
I feel good.
So, guys, flat earthers in the comments, just take it easy on us, okay? We're just asking the questions of the people. But anyway, this has been Ask a Flat Earther with Daryl Marble. He's been Big Irish J. I've been Kevin on stage. You've been watching or listening, and thank you. We'll see you next time.
Stay flat.